now that we know our basic properties of exponents, we want to take those properties of exponents and we want to apply them to when we're dealing with polynomials. Right? So polynomials, that prefix poly is telling us many. So what happens when we have multiple terms, multiple pieces happening at the same time? Now, multiplying with polynomials on its most basic level, we're going to be looking at multiplying a monomial times a polynomial. So if you forget your polynomial terms, you can go on Canvas and look at your notes for that list. But, right, a monomial, right, this is a prefix. This means one. So we're looking at multiplying one thing by many things. Okay, and this really falls under some basic rules that we've already known, we've already learned. We just haven't realized that we're dealing with polynomials. Because if we take something like 4 times 3x plus 5, right, we really have one term, a monomial, it just so happens it's a constant, times a binomial. And most of us, when we look at this, will just think, oh, well, that's the distributive property. And that's exactly what's happening here. We're going to take that 4, we're going to pass it out to each piece with multiplication. So 4 times 3x will give us 12x. And 4 times 5 will give us 15. Okay, so to simplify 4 times 3x plus 5, we'll get 12x plus 15. Now, we can take that property and we can apply it to more complex monomial times polynomials. So now maybe if we have 4x, and maybe we want to multiply that times 3x squared plus 5. We now know that our rule says when we multiply with exponents, we will multiply the coefficients, so the large number in front gets multiplied like normal. So 4 times 3 gives us 12. And we will add the exponents. So if we don't see an exponent at all, we know that it's an exponent of 1. So 1 plus 2 gives us 3. And so 4x times 3x squared will give us a 12x to the third. Then we'll distribute this 4x to the first power over here to the 5. We know 4 times 5 gives us 20. Okay, and then x to the first power comes along with it. There's nothing else to add it with, so it just stays as a 20x. These can then get larger. Okay, so we can have more terms happening, we can have more variables happening, we can have larger exponents happening, but this rule, this property, stays the same each and every time. So no matter how big it might get, okay, we're still just going to distribute, knowing that each time we distribute, we will multiply the coefficients and we will add the exponents. So 5 times 6 is 30. We'll add the exponents, so 4 plus 3 is 7. 5 times negative 5 is a negative 25. We will add the exponents, so 4 plus 2 is 6. 5 times 7 is 35. 4 plus, remember there's an exponent of 1 here, so 4 plus 1 is 5. And we will get an answer of 30x to the 7th minus 25x to the 6th plus 35x to the 5th. We also want to check a couple things once we have done this distributive property. So some things that we want to make sure we're okay with. If, just like we've seen in other problems, okay, maybe we have multiple sets of parentheses happening. This is still telling us to take a monomial times a binomial, right? 1 times 2. And when we multiply, we add the exponents. So we'll take 4 times x squared, which will give us a 4x squared. 4 times 3 will give us a 12. Now we have to be careful over here because this is asking us to distribute a negative 2. So negative 2x times 3x is going to give us a negative 6x squared. Right, those each have a 1, so we're going to add them. A negative 2x times a 7 is going to give us a negative 14x. Though we've taken care of the distributing property, we do want to make sure that we're getting like terms combined and we're writing our answer in standard form. Remember, standard form says that we have that largest degree term, that higher exponent happening first, and then we're working our way down to the smallest exponent or the smallest degree term at the end. So here we do have a couple like terms that we can combine, right? They both have an exponent of 2. That's from our addition and subtraction property with exponents. Okay, so a 4x squared and a negative 6x squared will give us a negative 2x squared. Okay, our next largest exponent is an exponent of 1. It doesn't have anything to combine with it, so that's going to go next. And then we're going to add the 12 at the end. And this would be the best way to write our answer in the correct form. So go ahead and try and do the problems on the worksheet. And then when you're finished, watch the next video that has all the answers worked out and explanations given.